Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I thought, this is the page that we just finished, and let me tell you, the day I painted it and then painted this one, I thought, oh, they're not matching too much. I'm not sure I love the page together. Maybe I'll put something in the middle. But then coming back up to my art room today, and I'm like, I love this page. So sometimes you just might get tired and think, I don't know. And then if you will just wait a day or two and come back and take a look, you might newly love the piece that you painted in a way that you didn't love it the day that you left. So I am just super in love with this page here. I do have oil pastel on it. So I'm thinking that we need to go ahead and put a piece of wax paper on here just until I take it outside and spray it, which I have not done, obviously, if I'm gonna put the wax paper on here, but I don't want it hanging out either, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it there, which I probably will put wax paper over there just not to spread paint later, but I'm not painting the canvas page today. So now we're gonna go ahead and paint the page after that, because then we're done with the front, because then we're at the layout that I started with. And I think it's kind of fun that now we have all of this already done. Look at that. This is one of my favorite, and I'm glad I put it on the beginning. And then this is another one of my favorites, so I'm glad it's in the beginning too. And then this one, oh my goodness, oh, love. And then this one, I still got to do this. Okay, I recognize. But this one, and then we went to that, and I really love these large pieces with some white space in it. It's really going to be my jam until I walk away from my table for a couple weeks and come back. But just to do a little sneak peek at how far we've gotten. I still love this one. I still love that one. And I love that one. See, this book is so lovely now to just flip through and admire how far we got. Oh, got another page right there to do. And you can kind of see, like when you do something like this, when you were in some different moods, and oh, I love this one, and what you were kind of feeling, and how the next time that you came back to paint, I really love this one, how your style just kind of changed up a little bit, or your mood did, or what you wanted to paint with that day changed up a little bit. And I love these 3 pages there, and that's a pretty page. That's pretty. Oh no, we gotta come back and do that one. I gotta tell you, I don't love the craft paper pages, which is why that's still blank. I like watercolor pages best, I think. But it was fun in this book especially to get brave and experiment. I love this page here with the different types of paper, because that led me then to make, you know, all these handmade journals that we made, and then I could pick my favorite papers in them, and I could put lovely handmade papers in with them that I loved, and then the whole book is a piece of art in addition to all the art, you know, that you're painting in the book. And so I needed this book to lead me on the journey of all these other books that we've now made. You know, all the journal bookmaking classes that I created this year. I'm telling you, I got obsessed. I just love the cyanotype so much. And I would not have gone down that direction if I hadn't got brave and painted in a gigantic mixed media art book that kind of scared me and was completely different than anything I'd ever done before, and was larger than I had, you know, worked in a sketchbook, because when you buy little sketchbooks, they're usually little. So this led me in a whole new journey to create a whole art book that I am crazy in love with and very excited about. So we still got a few more pages to go, but we are actually getting close to the end after, I think, like, I don't know, at least 50 videos. It's a bunch. And I'm thinking today, because this one has purples and stuff, not really, but kind of in the roses that I made. I got 2 purples on this page, and it's not going to match, but it doesn't matter. I thought maybe I'd pull the Holbein gouache out, because I'm never in these, and they've got fuzz on them from where I left them open the last time. I'm never in these, and I think we should play in the gouache. They live on my table up here, but I just don't think to pull them out. Okay, so let's look. Do any of these? Okay, I think I can put that one away. So we're putting away the Holbein yellows. And here we are in this one. And, you know, colors don't have to be exact, but we can get kind of close. I'm kind of feeling like maybe we're not in the blue one either. So here we are. We're going to be in this lovely set that I have called Red, Orange, Green. Because we're kind of in these purples. I'm going to maybe pull out mark making and stuff for maybe the darkest ones here. Or there probably is like a black or something darker, because I do feel like I kind of need, I kind of need that, whatever that dark right there is. It's probably like a black. So definitely maybe that one. So I'll leave this one out. Okay, so there we go. So we've got the blue palette out, and let's just see what that is, because I have on the back of this page what the colors were. So that was Holbein Prussian Blue. So that's real dark. No, Ivory Black. So this is Ivory Black. So I'm definitely using Ivory Black. And then on this one here, let's see, we got the green. There we go. This is how I've written them in here. I'm kind of thinking rose violet and maybe this bellflower. And that'll get me kind of right in these colors right here and that black. I may need a little more color, but it got me in a direction, and that's kind of my goal with the color cards. Even if I don't get exact, it's to push me in a direction and make me make some of those decisions. All right, so definitely this one. I'm almost feeling this bright one, even though it's not exactly the color palette, but it is kind of, it's that one there. So actually that really is, that's like that color right there maybe, which is rose, and then that's the opera. I don't know, I kind of like opera too. So I'm just gonna wet some of these down, and those are gonna be my color palette. And these have been in here for a long time, so they're nice and dry. Not in a good way, just they are. And they crack, and that doesn't really affect how they re-wet, so I don't even care. Now I'm almost, call me crazy here, but I almost want a little bit of this orange. I don't know why, but I do. And that is called Brilliant Orange. So I'm going to wet it down too, because I might regret that, but we're going to say that one too. All right, and let me just grab, and that color card is number 281 out of Color Cube 2 by Sarah Renee Clark. And those color cards, they've really become my favorite art tool, because I've done color my whole life. I studied color in college because I have a degree in interior design, and so we did a lot of color study in school. Gonna pick up a book here and just kind of slip it under here to hold that up a little bit. Yes, I studied color, and I still find color frustrating and hard sometimes, because sometimes when you know too much about a thing, then you kind of, I don't know, you kind of get to where it paralyzes you. Like, I know too much. There's too many color selections. I have too many options. And so how is it that we can narrow some of those options down and get rid of that paralysis for ourselves? And for me, it is doing just that, picking a color card and saying, okay, I have eliminated one of my decisions. Here is the color palette I'm going to use. All right, I really want that to stick down. And by doing that, I've now made it easier to narrow down all the other things that come after that, because I've made like the hardest decision right up front. So I kind of want to start with this yummy one here, and just do like a nice big abstract on this page. Oh, definitely a good color. Good choice. I love that color. And you know, when I start the abstracts, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I like to start on the edges or the corners and kind of work my way towards the middle, and that's just my own personal preference and direction and how I like to move my way through a big abstract piece. Everybody's got their own favorite ways to do stuff, and that just tends to be my favorite way. Let's just protect the page under there so that I'm not leaking color on that one that I've already got done. But you can see how nicely these Holbein just resaturate with some water no matter how dry you've let them sit there. And these have sat here for a while. Like, I haven't visited the gouache in a while, and I like the gouache because it's kind of like my favorite Kuretake paints. Let's pick up this pink, which it may not really show, but I think it'll give me a pop of some crazy color. It's kind of like those Kuretake ones that I like so much, and that's why I like the Kuretake ones. This is watercolor gouache. It's the water-based gouache, and you know, usually the difference in the gouache and the watercolor is maybe the size of the pigment that they use, but it's got a similar binding as the watercolor paints do. Oh, I'm kind of feeling this orange. Oh, yes! Look at that color! Ah, that's a color! That's crazy. That's kind of what I wanted, though. Ah, man, is that crazy color. It could have been a bad decision, but I don't care. I like it. But gouache tends to be a little more pigmented and thicker, and usually it's kind of opaque, but I am watering it down pretty good with a really wet brush, so we are getting kind of a watercolor look with our gouache. But it's very pigmented and vibrant, and the color is like amazing. But I don't know in this layout if you're going to see too much of a difference from when I'm doing this versus when I'm doing watercolor stuff, because I tend to use the two about the same. It's a good way to play with opacity, because you will get some different opacities with the gouache and the watercolor in layers. So we could have definitely layered some of this with watercolor and then played with opacities, which that's kind of a favorite way that I like to play with the gouache and the watercolor, but we're just going to go gouache today. You got to be careful here. You know, I got orange and purple, and orange and purple will make mud or brown. So you do got to be a little bit careful when you get brave and pull another color in that you realize what you're stacking it with, and it's going to turn into like a brown. Okay, now I'm loving that. I don't know if I want to do the black gouache or not, but now I've already stuck my paintbrush in it, so you know what, let's just do it and get a little bit of that in there and just see. Oh, so it's kind of a blacky brown. It's like not black, it's a blacky brown, and I kind of like that. And usually, you know, a lot of times you don't use like black watercolor and stuff in your piece. A lot of people are very anti that, but I don't know, it's fine. Different schools of thought and play. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. I'm saving some white space in there for some mark making. I think we have got to a really good spot with the gouache, and I want to let it dry real quick, and then we'll come back and draw on top of it. So I'll be right back. All right, I've let this dry mostly. It's still kind of damp, but it's dry enough. It's dampy. This paper is real thick. And I used a lot of water, but the other side still looks good. And I just want to mention, you know, when I use stuff like this and then I put them up, I do not immediately put the lid back on these. I let these dry out before I put the lid on them, which is how I get fuzzies flying around in the air to stick to these. But if you put the lid right back on it, you are going to have mold. These are going to mold. Any of them are going to mold. Any watercolors or anything that you're using like that, you want to let those thoroughly dry before you put the lid back on, just to prevent any kind of mold. Okay, so I pulled out some So Flat paints because I kind of like the brightness of these colors. Because my Blick matte paints, they're good, but I don't have like this intensity on some of those. So I pulled out cadmium orange, red violet, Dioxine Violet Deep, and Naphthol Pink, and I may not use all of them, but I pulled them out. And then I thought, what about, I loved this stencil so much on the page that we used it on that I pulled it out. And it's a Stencil Club stencil from 6 of 2024. And I'll link the Stencil Club below the videos. I'm not an affiliate for Stencil Girl. I just love getting these stencils every month for another surprise of what can they send me and what can I do with it. But the Stencil Club, you gotta be a member of their club to purchase Stencil Club stencils, and you can purchase past stencils from the club on that Stencil Club page. You just got to scroll down. It's not on any other page of their website. I've had people say, I can't find them, just searching them on the website, and you're not going to unless you're on that page. This is also Stencil Club, and it's a funky, you know, ruins kind of stencil, so I don't think I would ever have picked that for myself. And this is from February of 2024, but that's exactly why I pulled it out, because I'm like, what have I not used that maybe I could experiment with? But I really love this one, and I didn't think I was going to like it at all, like at all. But after we used it on that one, might have been one that was back here, it was like, oh my gosh, new favorite stencil. Where was it back here? It might have been in another book. Oh no, it was this one. Huh! When we used that on this, and we just had, you know, the little inside bits that were coming through, totally changed the whole layout for me. And I feel like maybe that'd be a good choice over here, possibly. So I'm kind of leaning towards Naphthol Pink, because look how crazy that color is. Okay, I had one of these open, so I think this might have been the one I did not have open, but that's okay. And I need to shake it up. And then once it's shook up, I like to get the color out of the lid for stencils. And I'm kind of thinking, let's just be crazy, and we may not like it, but look at this color. This is like the prettiest color ever. Oh, I love this color. It's like, I want my lipstick to be this color, and I want my nails to be this color, and I should just take this color into the nail salon and be like, this is the color I want. Where is it? Let's just see what we get. We may not like it. And you know what? I've had some people say, I'm scared of my book. What do I do if I mess up? Do I just make every page magically perfect? They just don't think they can do that. And I have showed you every page I've painted, except the one I forgot to hit the button on, but I showed you how I did that one in that video later. I've showed you all the pages, and some of them work out better than others, and some of them I don't like the day I painted it, and I come back later and I'm like, whoa, I love it, you know? Okay. Okay, yeah. Got the texture that I wanted. So do they all work out? No, but would you like it better later? Maybe like that one we did yesterday. I came back up here later and I'm like, okay, way better than I was thinking it was. What was I even upset about? Because it really did look better than I thought. I wasn't upset, but I was like, they're not quite matching, and maybe I'll put something in the middle. But now I love that page. So sometimes you're just tired and you don't have the right frame of mind after you've sat here and painted, and maybe you need to walk away and come back tomorrow. Okay, I like that. I'm not sure why I like it, but I like it. It's gonna be crazy. All right, so do I still want to do the ruins, or do I want to leave it there? I kind of want a few of these in here, and maybe in the orange, or maybe in the purple. Oh, what do I want? Do I want orange or purple? Oh. All right, we opened the orange. Maybe let's do the orange. But yeah, not everything's perfect, and you can always, my point of that was, because I lost my train of thought there, didn't I? Kind of the thing I do. I start talking, I do something fun, and then we forget what I was talking about. The thing is, if you hate it, and you're like, oh, it's right in the middle of my book, I'm just going to have to tear that page out. Don't tear the page out. You know what you can do? you can gesso over that page with white gesso and paint over it again. So nothing is lost. But don't do that immediately. Like, wait a couple days, because sometimes you know what it is. You don't have enough layers. If it's not good enough yet, you haven't added enough layers yet. That's the way I think of that, because these layers kind of build on each other. Oh, that's very interesting. Oh, I like that better than I thought I would, actually. It's kind of some interesting pattern in there. Okay, now I'm feeling it. But yeah, sometimes it's the layers. You know what? Let that ugly layer be the base layer. And then start mark making and stenciling on top. And then just see where you can go. If you add dots and lines and dashes and circles and gold. And just see if in the end you can't salvage it. And if you can't salvage it, okay, that's it's kind of crazy. But I love that. In the end, if you can't salvage it, then gesso over it. It's not lost. All is not lost. Okay, so I don't know, all could be lost on this. I know I'm having some fun and I'm joking and stuff, but I am a little tiny bit doubting it. I think I need to pull some white down. This is my Blick matte white, because I could do some mark making with a brush. I'm feeling like we're going to get a brush out. It's just Blick matte white paint there. Let's get a Princeton Filbert, and let's come in here with some white somethings just to add into the layers, because again, if it's not there yet, you don't have enough layers yet. If you're like, I don't know, keep going. And this is more of a, we'll call this like urban graffiti that's out under the bridge that we're creating. So think of this as like a graffiti piece that you could paint. What would you paint under a bridge if you were out there with your paints? This is what I would paint. Oh my goodness. Okay, I like that. Let's do a little bit of that coming in from here, like that kept going. Yeah. Yes, I like that. Okay. Let's throw that over there. And now I'm kind of thinking, what else do we want to pull in here? Because we got tons of choices. Feel like I could come in here with some mark making. So I'm going to grab, I've got some Posca. Oh, yeah. Look at here. I just looked up. And we got this yummy orange. Let's do the orange right on the purple, because those are contrasting colors, so you're going to get some crazy contrast putting those two colors right on top of each other. Ooh, that was fun. Let's do that up here. Look at that. That's fun. Okay, that was a Posca orange. Kind of thinking, because I also have this pretty lavender that matches. We could do something. Could do more. Oh, I could just come back in here with some. Okay, now the problem with the paint pens and this paper is it picks up the cottony of the paper and makes weird fuzz. And I noticed that the other day on the other paint pen I was using. But I'm just kind of mark making in here, pulling the fuzz off as I create it. Just some kind of weird mark making in there. It didn't have to be anything specific. And then I'm kind of thinking that maybe some black. Maybe I'll do it with the Arctic's paint pen, because I'm kind of feeling like this brush tip will give me the contrast and the lines that I think I want. And these are still wet paint, just setting my hand right in the wet paint. Somebody was like, why don't you paint the other way instead of sticking your hand in it? And let me tell you, this just tends to be the way my mind works. It is what it is. Why don't you do that if that works for you? For some reason when I paint and draw and stuff, I like to work this way. I don't know why. Maybe that's just my brain doing something funky for myself. Oh yeah, I like the way it looks when you hold the brush kind of parallel to the paper and you get that elongated, it's not a dot, it's an elongated pattern there. And if it's other paper, that pattern might look like a teardrop, but we weren't getting a teardrop here with this. We're getting a long dash. All right, there we go. I like that. That's doing some good stuff. All right, anything else that we need? What else could we draw on top of here? I know the paint pen's gonna pick up that fuzzy stuff. I could come back on here with some Mungios. Let's just pull those out. I'm obsessed with oil pastels. You know, I used to be scared of them because, you know, they never really dry. But let's just pull these out. These are my favorite oil pastels. I have several brands of oil pastels, but these are my favorite because of the texture and the intensity of the color. And what do we want? What are we feeling? Okay, we have a lot going on there. Anything else we add could be too much. I recognize. At the same time, maybe something else, because that's a lot of craziness we got going on here in colors that I wouldn't normally use. Because I definitely wouldn't normally use any of these probably together. But then once you get started down the path of craziness with the colors, then you start thinking, ooh, what if I added like this pop of whatever, and then you start seeing fun stuff appear in your art that you're like, whoa, didn't even expect that. Oh, I do like that there. And then when this is like a page in the whole book, you know, it becomes less crazy and more like, oh, it kind of matches everything else we've done, and it becomes part of the story, which I love. Okay, I do love this lavender on top of the orange. That's a yummy contrast there. And you don't see it as much here, but it's still there to kind of continue the story, so we didn't just use it in one place. Ooh, I like that. There we go. Oh, I love that. I think we might be there for today. Oh my goodness. That's some craziness. And then when we come back, we can paint this other page. So before I do that, I will be putting gesso over here on this page, and that way whatever I paint on this side won't come through to this side, just like painting gesso. It was clear gesso, then allowed that not to come through. I mean, I've used dark colors and you can see it almost wanting to come through, but once I paint gesso on this side and we do some type of painting over here to complement that, it won't bleed through to what we've done on the other side. I think I'm there for today. This is the craziest color palette. We stuck pretty good to our color palette except for the orange that I threw in there. So that was fun to start with a color palette and then say, what can I add to have a little bit of a pop to it? And today that pop was orange for me. Hope you enjoyed painting with me today, and I'll see you guys next time.